We have made it to question number 14 on our Unit 1 test review worksheet. I'm going to go ahead and slide this over a little bit so I can see it a little bit better. Actually, that's as far as I can go. Alright, question number 14. Graph a parallel line that is 4 units above the line M. So above, I'm going up above line M. And what is the equation of the new line? So we're doing a parallel line, which tells us right away, class, that our slope is going to be the same. Well, for this one, usually what I like to do is, I'm going to go ahead and plot my points right now. If the parallel line is 4 units above line M, and the slope is the same, that means I can pick a point on line M. Here's our points that are marked, and go 1, 2, 3, 4. I know that's going to be on my parallel line. And this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. I know that's going to be on my parallel line. All I have to do now is figure out the equation of the new line. Let's go ahead and graph it too. So I'll go ahead and connect those together. I think I want my line to be a little narrower. Let's see if that's better. Okay, and now we'll go ahead and connect it together. And let's put some arrows on the end. There's my parallel line. That's pretty easy with parallel lines, just counting how many units you're moving up or down. All right, let's take a look at our existing line. Our existing line M had a slope of, let's take a look at our slope, grab one of our points. I'm going to go up 1, 2, so I have a rise of 2. Let's write this. Our existing slope, rise over run, which was equal to positive 2. And then I'm going to go over to the right 1, 2 to get to that other point. That's positive 2 on the x-axis, and I can simplify that, divide both numerator and denominator by 2, and I've got 1 over 1. So that means our new slope has to be the same as our old slope, so our new slope is also going to be 1 over 1. And all we now have to do is find our new y-intercept, because all we need is slope and y-intercept, and we can write a slope-intercept equation. Well, here's our y-intercept right here. Our y-intercept, our new y-intercept is 1, 2, 3. It's positive 3. I'll just write our new y-intercept is positive 3. So our new y-intercept here is positive 3. And let's go ahead and write our equation. Y equals, our slope is 1 over 1, just like the slope of our existing line. Then we put our x value here, and then our y-intercept is positive 3. Now class, you could write this as y equals 1x plus 1, because 1 over 1 is the same as 1. Or, because you know that 1 over 1, the value of 1 can actually be skipped, we assume that it's there. It doesn't change the value of x. You could also write this as y equals x plus 3. All of those would be correct answers. Just make sure you understand those are all valid answers. Whoops. So in case it's a multiple choice, you recognize this may be written as y equals 1x plus 3. It also could be written as y equals x plus 3, because we can assume that a 1 in the front of the x doesn't change the value of x. So be aware that these are also possible answers if this were a multiple choice question. Alright, question number 15. A little bit more difficult, but not too bad. Graph a perpendicular line to line S. Here's our line S. That passes through point -1, 1. Now the first thing I do, class, is I always graph this point. We're looking for a perpendicular line, and it's going to go through point -1, 1. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my origin, -1 on the x-axis, +1 on the y-axis. That is a point my new line has to go through. So what is the equation of the new line? Well, let's figure out what our old line values are. Let's do this. Instead of putting old line, let's put on here line S. Let's figure out the slope of line S and the y-intercept of line S. Okay, so slope and y-intercept. Well, the slope is, take a point on that line. I'm going to take the lowest point because that's easiest for me. +1 on the y-axis, so it's slope of 1 over. and then we're going to move positive 1, 2, 3 on the x-axis. So our slope is 1 over 3. And our y-intercept, here's our origin. We cross the y-axis at 1, 2, 3. So our y-intercept is actually positive 3. So our new line, remember class, our new line is going to have a slope which is opposite reciprocal. So the slope of our new line is going to be the opposite sign of our line S slope, which is positive, so our sign is going to be negative. And our slope of line S, our existing line, is 1 over 3. So our new slope is going to be 3 over 1. So our slope is going to be negative 3 over 1. We don't know what our y-intercept is yet. We're going to find out. So negative 3 over 1, class, I would tell you when you get a slope like that, put the negative either on top or on bottom. Don't leave it out in front. It makes it a little bit confusing. Let's just change this. Instead of negative fraction 3 over 1, let's make it the fraction negative 3 over 1. Because now I can go to my existing point on my new line, negative 1, 1. I'm going to start right there and I'm going to go negative 3 on my y-axis, that's a negative rise, 1, 2, 3, and a positive 1 on my x-axis. And there's my new point. The cool part is that tells me what my y-intercept is. Now, if you plot that point, class, and you don't hit the y-axis, keep on going. Plot another point, down 3 to the right 1. Or go the other way, which means you're going to reverse the process. I'm going to go positive 3 and negative 1, positive 3 and negative 1. Keep on doing that either to the left or to the right until you hit the y-axis, so you know what the y-intercept is going to be. So now we just figured out that based on plotting those points, our y-intercept is equal to negative 2 on the y-axis. We go 1, 2 down on the y-axis. Let's go ahead and connect those points together, and visibly let's see if it looks like it's perpendicular. And it sure looks like it is to me. Looks like it's meeting at a 90-degree angle. Class, if it didn't look like it's perpendicular, check your work. I bet you didn't correctly write the opposite reciprocal slope. So there is our new line, and our equation is no problem. We know that our slope is negative 3 over 1, so we're going to write y equals negative 3 over 1 x, and our y-intercept is negative 2. Now remember again, if this is a multiple choice, this could be written as y equals negative 3 x minus 2. The reason why is, in multiple choice questions, usually the slope is simplified, and negative 3 over 1 can be written also as just negative 3. So be aware there's another way this equation can be written, and if it's a multiple choice, it'll probably be written this way. Alright, we will go to the final video, which will be our vocabulary review.